Live from Lagos, Nigeria, this is News Central. I'm Felicity Ezewike. The top stories tonight. President Tinubu swears in Tunji Disu as new acting Inspector General of Police, charges him on professionalism. 5 worshippers abducted as gunmen raid another church in Owo. Zimbabwe rejects U.S. health deal over Washington's demand for sensitive data.
In business, Naira regains strength in parallel markets after CBN cuts benchmark interest rates.
And in sports, former South African star Betty McCarthy believes Manchester United didn't sign Victor Osimhen because of the scheduling of the Africa Cup of Nations. Details later.
Thank you for tuning in. Tonight begins now. We begin tonight again with the new leadership in the Nigerian police force. President Bola Tinubu has tasked the new acting IGP, Tunji Disu, to uphold professionalism, integrity and dedication to service. This followed his swearing-in as the 23rd Indigenous Acting Police Boss. While taking over from Kayode Egbetokun, Disu says that despite becoming the IGP, he will continue to be the officer that is known by personnel of the force and one who recognizes the sacrifices being made by his colleagues. The former Inspector General of Police also urged his successor to consolidate on the gains that the police has enjoyed under his watch.
And now you assume this responsibility at a defining moment for our nation's security, and expect you to strengthen the discipline, enhance interagency collaboration, and restore public confidence in Nigerian police. Lead firmly but fairly, demand professionalism at every level, and ensure that safety of lives and property remains our highest priority.
The appointment means a lot to me. It means a lot to me because I have the love of my profession, the love of the country, and it came at a time I was not expecting it. That makes me give thanks to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My top priority, one of the first lectures I'm going to have with my men, I'm going to talk to them, let them know that the citizen of the country are the boss. It's very, very important for them to know that no police anywhere in the world can succeed without the cooperation of members of the public. I'm going to ensure that I take their welfare into consideration because people who are motivated are putting their best.
I remember learning something. I learned many things from him, from Mr. President, but there is something I remember he said when he was governor in Lagos. He once said that a good leader should have a succession plan and must invest in his likely successors. I invested in likely successors in the Nigerian police force, and I'm happy that one of those that I've invested in has been found most suitable for the job and has been decorated today, and I'll be handing over in the next few moments.
The foundation has been reinforced, the system recalibrated, the reform trajectory clearly defined. All these he has been part of. I charge him to consolidate these gains to deepen intelligence integration, expand technological modernization, strengthen accountability systems, and entrench community-centered policing as enduring doctrine. Institutional progress must not pause, it must accelerate.
I want all the officers and men of the indefatigable Nigerian police force, from the fresh recruits still learning the weight of the uniform, to the veterans who have given decades of quiet service, to know that Tunji Disu, as most of you call him, is first and foremost a police officer before being the Inspector General of Police. This I greatly cherish and wish to continue to be. I see you, I honor you, and I'm with you. I know what it means to stand at the post in the rain. I'm aware of the risk involved in responding to any distress call. I know what it feels like to serve a public that sometimes applaud you and sometimes distrust you. Those experiences are not behind me. They will live in every decision I make in this office.
Lawrence Alobi is former police commissioner of the Federal Capital Territory. He joins me now to discuss the new leadership of the Nigerian police. Thank you very much for giving us your time. Tunji Disu is the new name to pay attention to when you talk about police force in Nigeria. What do you know about him and his track record and what that means for that leadership role? A short break. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's continue our conversation with Lawrence Alobi, a former police commissioner of the Federal Capital Territory. He joins us from Abuja. Your quick assessment of Tunji Disu's experience and what he brings to the role of acting IGP.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think Mr. President has made a very good choice, the right choice at the right time, because the challenges facing not only the police, but the country in terms of internal security are actually very challenging, enormous, and require someone's capacity, operational capacity, administrative capacity, and at least the wherewithal to address the issues squarely, effectively, and efficiently. The IGP Disu is a very fine police officer, an officer with operational capacity. I know him very, very well. He worked he was CP River State, he was CP FCT, he was also in Lagos. He was also, in fact, he even have international experience. He was the commander of the police contingent to Sudan on peacekeeping. And I have confidence in him that he will do well. Because you see, capacity determines your confidence. If you don't have capacity, you don't have confidence. And what gives capacity is the various experiences you work. You'll be mentored by senior officers, you work under senior officers, you face various challenges. And because of this, working in various positions and offices, you gather knowledge and capacity. I think he has gotten that capacity in terms of operation, in terms of administration, and in terms of investigation. And another officer with a listening ear is a humble officer. And that humility doesn't mean that one is weak. You know, there's power in humility. And also, this has one quality of having a listening ear. And I'm very, very confident that with the support the Mr. President, the government of this country will give to the police under his leadership, in terms of funding, in terms of equipment, in terms of training, in fact, funding specifically. Because if the police is well funded, they can be able to actually do those things that are important and necessary for the effective performance of the force. But when they are not funded, that they keep on going cap in hand to beg for money, to beg for money to support their administrative operations and even administrative procedures or activities. So I think like I saw Mr. President during the inauguration, when he was being decorated, Mr. President promised to give him all the support. I know Mr. President, man of action on his word, and I think I have confidence that this will reinvent and transform the Nigerian police force.
All right, let's talk about some of his priorities now that he has been inaugurated. Let's talk about his priorities. The president charged him on professionalism, and he's released 3 priority areas: professionalism, modernization, accountability, and integrity. He also talked about community partnership. How core are these priorities for you in the work to bring the police up to the standards that are expected globally?
Yeah, professionalism is key and important, because our professionalism comes with capacity. We don't have the capacity, you will know how to perform your function, carry your function in line with the laid down standard and values. The police have some core values, core standard that makes it unique. And that's discipline, it's anchored on discipline. Discipline and supervision. Because officers need to effectively supervise. And officers are meant to be supervised. You know, policing is a very challenging job because you are doing things that probably people and offenses have been committed. You need to manage crises, control crises, and so to prevent crime, you take crime, material life and property. It's challenging, you know. But with capacity and good training to build their capacity in terms of, talk about human rights abuse, for instance. They need to apply this. We're not a democratic dispensation. The police need to imbibe democratic principles. Democratic principles, that is promotion of human rights, and also policing in line with democratic principles. That is community partnership, working to meet the needs of the people. You see, gone are the days during the colonial era when, or maybe this new colonialism, when it is believed that the government is here to use the police to oppress the people. No. The police and the people need to work together. They need each other. The police need the public, and the public need the police. Because if the police and the public work together, we'll have a better society. And the police can only enjoy the trust of the people when they do their job in terms of professional standard, with the fear of God, in line with professional standard, international best practices, without abusing human rights, and also carrying out the job without putting, some of us put money first, you know, what will I make today when I go out? But if you put service even itself to attract blessings and bounties. So I think the IG should emphasize on training capacity building. And that training would enhance the capacity of the men, be able to, and then apply the principle of emotional intelligence and policing in line with democratic principles. Emotional intelligence in policing and leadership. The leaders themselves also should lead by examples. And like I said, the IG cannot do it alone. He needs to consult with his team, and I hope that the management team will be a team that will work in the spirit of team spirit, not rivalry, not competition. They should know they all have a common purpose to ensure that Nigeria is safe and secure. And Nigerians, citizens will enjoy.
Mr. Alobi, I'm trying to interject to get one more thought from you quickly. Disu is said to have been credited with turning around security in Rivers State and the FCT. What specific strategies do you think contributed to his success, and how that can be replicated nationwide?
His leadership style. You know, the leadership determines followership. When the officers are men of the force, you know that you as a leader. When I was CPFCT, I know myself of leadership. And Disu also is a man who consults, an officer who consults. It's an officer who is humble, he listens to his officers, he consults, and he's also put service first. What is concerned, for Disu, we must put in the best effort to achieve the best result. And that best result is effective policing and effective law enforcement. I'm sure if he applies that, and if the officers are men of the force, emulate these principles of service, of trying to put in their best effort to make Nigeria safe and secure, and for policing and law enforcing the law based on the principle of democratic policing and human rights principles and emotional intelligence, I think Nigerians will have a better police for the nearest future under the leadership of Disu. I'm very optimistic that he has a capacity, both international experience, and capacity in terms of operations, capacity in terms of administration. And what is required now is that officers and men, the standard should be reinvented, because a lot of things have gone wrong, actually. The dress code, our dress code no longer respected.
Mr. Alobi, I'm afraid that's the much time will permit us for the conversation. Thank you for speaking with us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. I hope we pray let's all cooperate with the police to make Nigeria a safe and secure nation for all of us.
Coming up, court refuses El Rufai bail request in absentia. We have details after the break. You're watching tonight on News Central. A reminder of our top stories. President Tinubu swears in Tunji Disu as new acting Inspector General of Police, charges him on professionalism. 5 worshippers abducted as gunmen raid another church in Ondo State. Zimbabwe rejects U.S. health deal over Washington's demand for sensitive data. Thank you for staying with us. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, has filed fresh criminal charges against constitutional lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Michael Zakome, over an alleged attempt to fraudulently claim ownership of a property in the United Kingdom. In a 12-count charge filed before the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, the AGF accused Zakome and Pomfa Useni, also known as Tali Shani, of conspiracy, forgery, impersonation, and possession of suspected proceeds of unlawful property. The fresh charge was filed less than 24 hours after the AGF withdrew an earlier case instituted by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. Stay with court matters. The Federal High Court in Abuja has refused to grant former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai bail in absentia. Justice Joyce Abdulmalik declined the application after counsel to El-Rufai Oluwole Iyamu moved the motion for bail to be heard. Earlier, the prosecution counsel Oluwole Alade, while seeking an adjournment for arraignment, informed the court that the defendant is currently with the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and not in the custody of the Department of State Services. The court has now adjourned El-Rufai's arraignment to April the 23rd.
What happened? He filed an application before this thing seeking to quash the charge. And it was in that application he sought for a relief for 2 billion naira. So that application is not right for hearing, it's premature. And we made that point to court that until the defendant is arraigned, no application can be entertained. The charge was filed on the 16th. But ever since the charge has been filed, the defendant has been he was first in EFCC custody. Then subsequently, he was taken to ICPC. We have no control over what ICPC and EFCC, do with the defendant. So we explained that to the court, and the court, indulged us. So it was against that backdrop that the matter has not been adjourned till 23rd of April. And if you recall, we were seeking for a short date. We were saying from the 10th because we don't want a situation where we come back tomorrow or next week and come and say the same thing. We don't have that assurance that we will leave ICPC before next week. So we sought for the 10th, but the court in its wisdom, having regard to the convenience of the court, gave us the instead of it.
For this development, let's turn to a lawyer and public affairs analyst, Tunji Abdulhamid. It's a pleasure to have you on the news tonight. I'm going to read exactly what I wrote so I don't miss it. The DSS took him to court, but he is in the custody of the ICPC. The court is being urged to order the production of the defendant regardless of which agency has custody over him. Help us explain this. How common is this scenario in the legal space, and how might that impact the case going forward?
I think what actually happened was that the matter was fixed for because of the application filed by the counsel to El-Rufai. Malam El-Rufai, you recall that he filed a motion asking the court to quash the charge. Probably that is why a date was given to them, because he has not been arraigned. So if you have not been arraigned, the court will not assume jurisdiction over you. In arraignment here means that that's a situation whereby it will be before the court and they will ask him, they will read all the charges to him and ask him whether to plead whether guilty or not guilty. It is when that happens that the court will now assume jurisdiction over him. So until that happens, nothing can be done before the court. And that's what the court is talking about. That's what the court is saying, that they say it's premature. Having not been arraigned before the court has no power over him yet until that takes place. So the issue that we're having is because there are multiple agencies investigating Malam El-Rufai, and it's currently before the ICPC. So ICPC is holding him in custody, and because it's in ICPC, the DSS has no power over control over the ICPC. Like you said, the ICPC, if once the time comes to arraign him, and there's not in any custody, it can be asked to be produced before the court. But as it is now, I'm sure I think they are not ready to arraign him before the court, and until that arraignment takes place, no application, whether for bail, whether for whatever, cannot be entertained. And so the application has not been considered, talk less of being denied. So he has not been even entertained by the court. The court only said that, look,
I might sound like I don't understand, because for the court for that to happen, he has to appear in court. One of the requests is for the court to order his production. Can't the court do that, considering that both agencies don't have authority over them, either of them don't have authority over each other?
That can be done if proper application is made. But if there's a genuine excuse for his absence, the court will also consider that. You know, it's not one-way traffic thing. If there's a genuine application for his production, if it's before the DSS now, it's in their custody, and they fail to bring it, yeah, that would be easy for the court to do. There is with a different agency, and if you ask for him to be produced now, the court the ICPC may say, we are still investigating it. And if it's arranged based on the case filed by the DSS, the court might say after that it should be detained in the custody of DSS. So how will the ICPC continue their own investigation? That is the problem that will emerge. So but the problem we are having is that, look, we have agencies of similar responsibility doing the same thing in a way, to as far as I'm concerned, to an extent. These are cases that some of them can even be done by the they will tell you they are still doing their investigation. I want to say they can be handled by the Attorney General office, but investigation is by the security agency. So they will tell you they are still doing their investigation. But if you are doing an investigation, you have not concluded it, why are you holding him in custody? But that is our system in Nigeria today. They will hold you in custody, they will put you in custody, and then they will be looking for evidence against you. That is why it is looking the way it's looking. The court has not done anything contrary to the law. The court has said the right thing. Look, once a defendant or person accused of an offense or alleged of an offense has not been arraigned before the court has no jurisdiction over that person. You must be asked. The charge must be read before to that person. He must either say that I plead guilty or I plead not guilty. So once that happens, then you can bring whatever application you want to bring before the court. As it is now, it is premature for the court to even entertain any application, whether the bail application or for the application to quash. The charge is has not been taken properly before the court.
Thank you very much, Tunji, for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you.
To security matters now. Gunmen have abducted worshippers during an early morning service at a Celestial Church in Uso Owo, local government area of Ondo State, raising fresh concerns over insecurity in the region. Police say the attack occurred around 12:50 a.m. on Wednesday when armed men stormed the church and abducted 6 worshippers. Security operatives working with the Nigerian Army and local vigilante groups immediately launched a rescue operation. One victim has since been freed and a suspect arrested, now assisting investigators. In Bayelsa State, Governor Doyediri has sworn in Dr. Peter Akpe as the new deputy governor of the state. The ceremony took place at the government house in Yenagoa, marking a new chapter in the state's leadership. Akpe succeeds the late Lawrence Erujakpo, who passed away in December 2025 and was laid to rest on January 30, 2026. A former majority leader of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly and immediate past chief of staff to the governor, Akpe brings significant legislative and administrative experience to the role.
Be assured of my full support as you embark on this new journey with me. I am confident that you will be a dependable partner in fulfilling our covenant of assured prosperity to our people and in consolidating and expanding the programs and projects that are already underway. I call on all citizens, political actors, and stakeholders to accord our new deputy governor their fullest cooperation and support so that together we can sustain and deepen the progress that we have already made in our state. Let us remain united, focused, and prayerful as we continue to work of governance and service.
All is now set for the Ward and Local Government Congresses of the All Progressive Congress in Abia State. The exercise, which holds today, Wednesday and Thursday, was earlier suspended following inconsistencies spotted in the process. According to the Congress Committee Chairman, his team will stick to guidelines to ensure that the members are satisfied with the outcome. The UN Security Council has announced new sanctions on 4 leaders of Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces over atrocities committed in the western Sudanese city of El Fasher. The deputy commander, Abdurrahim Hamdan Dagalo, and Brigadier General Al-Fatah Abdullah Idris, more commonly called Abu Lulu, who became known as the Butcher of El Fasher, are among those proscribed. The others are RSF Deputy Commander Gedo Hamdan Ahmed and Field Commander Tijani Ibrahim. One of our top stories tonight, Zimbabwe has withdrawn from negotiations with the United States on a proposed health funding agreement meant to replace previous U.S. aid-backed programs. The proposed 5-year arrangement was valued at $367 million and aims to support HIV treatment for about 1.2 million beneficiaries. President Emerson Mnangagwa directed officials to halt the talks, citing concerns over national sovereignty. The development follows Washington's restructuring of foreign assistance under President Donald Trump, including the dismantling of the U.S. aid and new bilateral health accords across Africa. We're on a short break now, and when we come back, we have business, sports, and entertainment updates. Do stay with us.
Talking business now, the Naira strengthened in the parallel market after the Central Bank of Nigeria cut its benchmark monetary policy rate by 50 basis points to 26.5%. The local currency gained 10 Naira against the dollar in the black market, trading at 1,390 Naira, while the official window saw a slight depreciation. CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso cited cooling inflation, stronger FX reserves, and improving macro conditions as rationale. Analysts note the move could boost investor confidence and portfolio inflows, though sustained Naira stability depends on steady FX liquidity, prudent monetary management, and global oil market developments. We also tell you that Nigeria's government has reaffirmed plans to develop a cassava-based bioethanol industry to boost industrial growth and reduce fuel imports. Speaking in Abeokuta, Budget and Economic Planning Minister Atiku Bagudu said the initiative aligns with President Bola Tinubu's economic agenda to expand value-added agriculture. The project aims to shift cassava from food use to industrial and energy applications while supporting farmers and strengthening foreign exchange earnings. A recent World Bank report highlighted cassava's importance to Africa's food security, reinforcing the crop's strategic role in Nigeria's bioeconomy and energy transition plans. And talking about the equities market, it barely moved, but the tone underneath was far from calm. What do I mean? The All-Share Index slipped just 0.06% to close at 194,370. That's points anyway, trimming market capitalization slightly to 124.75 trillion naira. And looking at sectoral performance, we start with the banking sector that fell 2.07%, with sustained profit taking in heavyweights, dragging the space lower. Insurance tumbled 3.79%, the weakest link, I must say, of the session, as sellers dominated across the board. Now, oil and gas is 0.24%, also reflecting mild repositioning after weeks of strong performance. And we see that consumer goods stood out 1.19%, providing a cushioning effect for what would have been a deeper market slide as selective buying returned. Industrial goods dropped 0.22%, with Dangote Cement largely steady but unable to offset the financial sector's weight. And that's it on business. I'm Lekon Obanjo.
Hello and welcome to sports. Former South African international striker Benny McCarthy believes the Africa Cup of Nations schedule is a major reason why Manchester United did not try to sign Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen. Osimhen attracted attention from Europe's elite sides after scoring 26 goals in the 2022-2023 season and firing Napoli to a first Italian title in 33 years. McCarthy, who at the time was a first-team coach at Old Trafford under then-manager Erik ten Hag, has revealed he played a role in the recruitment of strikers and thought Osimhen would fit perfect with the Red Devils. But the biennial staging of the Africa Cup of Nations, which regularly falls in the middle of the European season, meant United switched to other targets, despite Osimhen initially being at the top of the list. To boxing now, the driver who was involved in the fatal crash that was involved with Anthony Joshua, British heavyweight Anthony Joshua, was injured today. He appeared at a Shagamu Magistrate Court in Ogun State. Adeni Mobolaji Kayode, who was driving Joshua when their car crashed, has been charged with causing death by dangerous driving and reckless and negligent driving, and also driving without care and driving without a valid driver's license. The 46-year-old appeared in court as the case was adjourned until the 13th of March. Kayode, who was making his second appearance at the court, is yet to enter a plea. Prosecutors told the court they needed further time to prepare evidence, and Joshua's personal trainer, Latif Ayodele, and strength coach Shinagami died on the 29th of December after their vehicle collided with a stationary lorry on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The 36-year-old former world heavyweight champion was treated in a Lagos hospital for his injury. And to the Niger Delta Games now, Imo State wiped out the competition in the men's and women's volleyball event, claiming gold at the ongoing Niger Delta Games in Edo State. The event was decided at the Wire Road Sports Complex, Benin City, the Edo State capital, and saw the men's team beating their Edo State counterparts in a very tough encounter by 3-1. In the third place match, Abia State edged Ondo State 3-2 in a highly competitive encounter to claim the bronze medal. In the women's category, Imo girls recorded a 3-1 victory over host Edo State to win gold, while River State thrashed Abia State 3-0 in a one-sided encounter to finish in third place. And to add further gloss to a golden day for Imo State, they battled against the odds to emerge victorious in the women's handball final with a narrow 24-23 win over Edo State and claim gold. And finally, to boxing heavyweight world champion Fabio Wardley and his British rival Daniel Dubois came face-to-face at a lively news conference in London today. Both men will go head-to-head at Manchester's Co-op Live Arena on the 9th of May. The event came to life when WBO heavyweight champion Wardley promised to flatten his challenger, accusing him of folding too easily in his 3 stoppage defeats. 31-year-old Wardley, who has 19 stoppages and 20 wins, will make the first defense of his title, having claimed the interim title against Joseph Parker before being upgraded to full champion when Alexander Usyk vacated the belt. Former IBF champion Dubois is coming off a devastating knockout loss to Usyk last summer, and the 28-year-old characteristically kept his answers short, promising to knock out Wardley by any means necessary. And if Wardley retains his WBO heavyweight title, he promises he will throw down the gauntlet to former champion Tyson Fury, who faces Russian Aslanbek Makhmudov at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on the 11th of April. And that's all sports news tonight. Entertainment is up next.
All right, now let's jump right to the side of entertainment. The Performing Musicians Employers Association of Nigeria, PMAN, has petitioned the Attorney General over concerns about how Nigeria's copyright levies funds are being handled. The group is worried about moves to fast-track the recognition of the Record Label Proprietors Initiative, this is RELP, as a collective management organization. Now, PMAN claims a recent stakeholder meeting at the Ministry of Justice was turned into a closed-door session, excluding its leaders and allegedly favoring record labels' interest. Now, the association also raised concerns about possible conflicts of interest involving government officials. PMAN is urging transparency and asking the Attorney General to suspend any recognition of RELP pending proper review. Now, if you've been following this story, you should understand it's about the $1.2 billion copyright levy. But yeah, we'll definitely bring the update as it goes. Now, Billboard's 2026 Women in Music is gearing up to be a powerful celebration of female talent across genres. This year's honorees include Tiana Taylor, who will be receiving the Visionary Award for her bold creativity and artistic evolution. Kehlani is being recognized with the Impact Award for her soulful sound and strong cultural influence, while Zara Lawson takes home the Breakthrough Award as her global pop career continues to rise. Other stars set to be honored include Mariah the Scientist, Luffy Tate McRae, and Tyra. Now, hosted by Kiki Palmer, the ceremony will be held on April 29th, at the Hollywood Palladium. Well, that's all we have on entertainment tonight.
And that's the news tonight. But before we go, a quick recap of our top stories. President Tinubu has sworn in Tunji Disu as new acting Inspector General of Police, charges him on professionalism. 5 worshippers have been abducted as gunmen raid another church in Ondo State. We also told you that Zimbabwe has rejected U.S. deal over Washington's demand for sensitive data. As always, we'd appreciate your feedback. Please share them using the number now on your screen. We're on social media at News Central TV. You can watch our programs live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. Many thanks as always for your kind company. Good night.